Good morning. Happy Monday. Two practices together today. We'll do the between heaven and earth, which we're already relatively familiar with. We've done it 2 or 3 times now, and a connecting practice to it. So after we've opened up those and gotten the energy flowing in those extraordinary meridians, then we'll focus on gathering energy from earth and heavens, the three powers in traditional Chinese medicine theory. Earth, the heavens, and us. So we're the middle power. So we'll do a short practice. In this tradition, it's called a Zhan Zhuang, what we might have formerly thought of as being part of the Qigong tradition. Same principles, a lot of the same movements, a lot of the same postures. These are very simple, but it's gathering the energy from. So primary energy points, palm of the hands, very top of the head, soles of the feet. And so when we go into the postures, we'll be very conscious about it, particularly where our hands are pointing. But let's begin today. Body relaxed, knees nice and soft, give your shoulders a shrug, and then let them drop. Tuck the tailbone under a little, back nice and spine nice and long. Now let's begin to turn the upper torso from side to side, just letting the arms swing freely. Today is one of those days where it wouldn't matter if your video was on or not, because I can barely see my screen. They did dilate me this morning, part of my eye appointment. And fortunately, it's relatively dark in the basement, so not too bad, but everything's still pretty fuzzy. And we got through our refi closing without issue. Knock a couple $100 a month off the mortgage payment. That's a good thing. And let's close the fists loosely and begin knocking on the lower belly and lower back. Knocking on the door of life. Tapping to our energy center, our lower dantian. I was tempted to take this one outside today before the chance of any thunderstorms, but it's just a little too bright for me to see. Al will be out for the next 2 weeks, I believe, traveling. Let's take that front hand, move that knock up to the shoulder. A little crease in the shoulder there, end of the lung meridian. Then travels down the inside of the arm to the pinky. Slide the knocking back down to the belly, continuing to knock on the lower back. And let's float the hands back off the body, swing out nice and wide, picking up the back heel. A little bit of a twist of the spine here. begin to deepen out the breathing. In and out through the nose if you're able. Take that out breath through the mouth. And let's slow this down. And coming to rest in Wuji, let's connect to the breath with some spinal cord breathing. Breathing in as the arms come up. Pull everything back in as you breathe out. Breathing in, spread the elbows apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Nice long out breath. So you pull it all back in and fold. A little turn at the top for the last few. And the last one. Exhaling down. Inhale, rise to center with the arms spread out. And then relax down back to our Wuji position. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a couple of breaths here. Parts of between heaven and earth, the practice. We activate the center and then expand the body space. Travel the microcosmic orbit. And we work through the sash meridian, the belt meridian, roots and branches. And then we spiral the energy upwards for connecting to the heavenly energy and then settling back to begin our postures. Let your eyes float open. Take your hands, hand over hand, over the lower belly, the lower dantian. Thumb in your belly button and your hands below, the dantian being about 1.5 inches, 2 inches below the belly button. Take a couple of breaths here. And then begin to circle, massaging the dantian. Go either direction, because we'll go both. And experiment with the amount of pressure. Nice firm massage or just a light touch, something in between. Whatever feels right for you today. Just breathe normally. And let's change the direction of your circling massage. As we complete the activating the center portion and get ready to move on to expanding the body space. Let your hands just relax down to Wuji. And on an inhale, hands come up on the sides. Press your palms out. And on the exhale, Look out first over one hand. Continue a long exhale as you look out over the other hand. Inhale, bring your hands back to prayer position but not touching. Exhale, spread the palms back out, this time beginning to look over the other side. Continuing to exhale. Looking past the other fingers. Inhaling the hands back together. Exhale, press the palms. Inhale, draw the hands back in. Exhale, press the palms. Long exhale, looking first over one side, then the other. Alternating that starting side each time you bring the hands in. When you run out of breath, bring them back together. Let's do one more on each side. Last one to the side. Inhale, hands back together, spinning that ball as we bring them in. This time as hands spread apart, looking up and then down. Pull the hands back in, spinning the ball as they come together. Palms press apart. Exhale, look up and down. Inhale, hands back past each other, spin the ball. Almost back right into a different move. Let's take two more, getting each hand on top. Last one up and down. Bringing the hands back together, hands back side by side. As you exhale, press one back, one forward, looking back first. Long exhale, look forward. Bring the hands back together, going to the other side. Sometimes we'll do this alternating, sometimes we'll do everything on one side first. One more each way. Last one, front and back. Hands back, and then all the way down, floating back down to Wuji. Turning the palms forward and then turning the hands out as far as you can. Lift. Rising overhead, pressing the palms. Traveling the microcosmic orbit. Nice full inhale as we rise. Long exhale as the hands press down. One more time. Change direction. Press the palms down. As you inhale, turn the hands over. Lift. Spiraling the hands at the shoulders, opening at the top, and down the sides. Inhale up. Exhale down. Very similar to the first move of the brocades, hands lifting the heavens, which we often do with a 4-part breath. If you need to break up the breath like that, that's fine. Otherwise, just a full breath. Nice long inhale as we rise. And full exhale as we release down. Let's do one more. Turning at the waist, keeping the palms turned in toward the body. Inhale, and then exhale, come across the other direction. Pay particular attention to the back hand, trying to keep that palm turned in. So we direct the energy from our hands, that Lao Gung point in the middle of our hands, to the belt meridian. Exhaling across. Do one more inhale to this side. Exhale it across. Hold. Inhale. Now changing the direction of the breath. Exhaling to this side. Inhaling on the other side. Exhale across. One more out and back. Coming back to center, letting the hands float back down to Wuji. Inhaling the hands up overhead, lift the knees just a little bit. Inhale, exhale, press overhead. Inhale, pulling the hands down to about the shoulders, bringing the body down into as much of a squat as is comfortable for you. Exhaling as we rise. Keeping the palms turned up. As there's roots and branches. Last one. Hands release down. This time letting them come to rest on the waist. Put your weight on one side, begin to spiral the entire leg on that empty foot. Get a few turns in one direction, and then change direction, letting that spiral affect the entire leg. And then let that one rest. Put the weight on that side with your empty leg. Spiral beginning at the foot, letting the whole leg spiral. Breathing, just returning to a normal, deep, no pattern. Get a few in each direction. And let that one come to rest and begin to spiral at the waist. Begin with the legs and then the waist. And we'll stir the clouds, and last spiral is the head. Still just breathing naturally. And let's change direction here. Coming to rest in the center, letting one hand right overhead. Turn the palm to the ceiling. Spiral that hand, stirring the clouds. A few turns clockwise and a few counterclockwise. And switching hands. Sure we get a few turns in each direction. That one return to the waist, and then spiraling the head, but keep the gaze forward. Dip your chin. And again, we'll take a few in each direction. Come to rest, let the hands melt back down into Wuji. And come to the, nearing the end of the moving portion. Arms rise overhead, gentle arch. Look up through the hands, just hold here and breathe. Think of lifting your face toward the sky, keep your neck long. We'll actually see this move again in the postures. Take one last breath in. And on your next exhale, let the hands float back down to Wuji. Take a couple of full breaths. Hold your hands back into the lower dantian. Completing the moving forms. You're welcome to close your eyes for as much of the static forms as you'd like. They're very simple. I'll talk you through them. You don't necessarily need to do anything more than take a quick peek. First of the static forms is just returning to Wuji. Body nice and relaxed. Feet about shoulder width apart, a little bit of space under the arms. Tuck the tailbone under. Spine long, chest high. Let your shoulders drop. Think of the crown of your head being pulled up on a string. And tuck your chin back just a tad. We'll pause in each of these positions for 4 or 5 breaths. Next, first turn the backs of your hands toward the front, then raise your fingers so that your palms point at the floor. Maintain the same posture. Grounding into the energy of the earth, the bubbling well point in our soles of our feet, the Lao Gung point in the middle of our hand. On an inhale, let the arms float up to about shoulder height, palms still facing the floor. Hold here and breathe. Still to this point, focusing on earth energy, grounding through the feet and the hands. Transition with a heavenly energy by turning the palms over, arms still at shoulder height, palms facing skyward. On your next inhale, turn the palms toward the center, bring the hands forward and then back up overhead. Arch, turn the palms to the sky, neck long, returning to that connecting. And then we take all of that earth and the heavenly energy and begin to center it. Arms floating down, crossing, and coming to rest just above the shoulders, not touching the body. On your next inhale, begin to release the hands. And on the exhale, let them come back down to Wuji. finish, hand over hand, hands over the lower dantian. And just a couple more breaths. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, let your eyes come open. Release the hands. Give everything a little shake. That was the moving forms from between heaven and earth, and then connecting to the heavenly and earth energy. Namaste.